we started to experiment against real targets with signal processing techniques. And we basically discovered a better way to find submarines. and the company really took off from, we got a small contract to build one system. They put it on board an aircraft carrier called the WASP CVS-18. There was a battle group that was sailing north of the Arctic Circle off of Norway, and it turns out two Charlie-class submarines were tailing the convoy, the battle group, and we detected them. These guys had been sailing around for years and seeing nothing, and suddenly we're lighting up the screen, and we went from being some nothing company to all of a sudden I'm getting phone calls from admirals. What are you guys doing? And all this highly classified message traffic is going around about this. So we suddenly got on the map. The defense companies, they were laying off a lot of people. So we were able to hire terrific people that we, under normal circumstances, would have no right to be able to hire. And little by little, we hired more really good people, PhDs and whatever. So we were able to do work in the signal processing area that was, more or less competitive with the bigger companies because we had these specialists. We knew we were going to be in the, let me call it, data retrieval business, because we depended upon tape recordings for signature data, and we expected to do more of that kind of stuff. We also knew that the technology was good for diagnosing mostly machinery problems. So if you spectrum analyze what's going on in rotating machinery like car engines and things like that, or jet engines and turbines, you can determine if there's any faults located with them. So we said, yes. So we said, well, we could be in the data retrieval business, we could be in the diagnostic business. So the working title is Diagnostic/Retrieval Systems. We had not borrowed, but sold stock in the startup company, what they would call today a seed round, of about $120,000 way back in '69 to friends and relatives, okay? And so they were investors in this thing, hoping that in '72, when we were going to take the company public, but the market collapsed, so there was a lot of pressure to get these guys out. So when we had an opportunity and the market changed, there was no question about going public.
They were always going to do that.
Oh, absolutely. Okay, and from that viewpoint, keep in mind different times. This enabled us to bring in more money. Eventually, let me see, probably a couple of years after we did the IPO, and when it was a $3 million round, okay, which included money for the early seed round people. I was making a presentation at the Waldorf for emerging companies, whatever, and some guy comes walking up to me and said, how would you like to raise $25 million in a convertible debenture? Now, you got to appreciate $25 million in those days was huge, and if you think about, the IPO was just $3 million, so that sounded terrific. We had all this money. So we knew we needed to deploy it by doing some M&A stuff. And because we knew Precision Echo, they were a supplier to us for years. So we knew that company inside out. We knew all their financials and everything else like that. So it was a very obvious and easy to do acquisition. I went to the Army's Night Vision Lab down in Fort Belvoir, and I met with the chief scientist of the S&T division, okay? And I got introduced as one of the founders of DRS. And totally unbidden or anything, he says, wow, that's great. What a great company. I love dealing with those guys. So what I'm really impressed with is out of the clear blue sky, you've got a customer in the night vision lab that is just willing to come out and say he loves dealing with the company. Okay, so that kind of wraps it up as, hey, company's got a good reputation, it does good work, and notwithstanding problems that every company has, I guess DRS has built a really good reputation.